Welcome back to another episode of Sips and Screams, where twin sister horror movie fanatics sip themed cocktails and discuss our favorites in the genre. Today we are discussing 2005's White Noise, written by Neil Johnson and directed by Jeffrey Sachs, starring the one and only Michael Keaton, aka Batman, aka Birdman, aka what else? He's awesome. Also starring Deborah Kara Unger, what a name. Sarah Strange, also what a name. Chandra West, Nicholas Alaya, and Ian McNeice. This one is a horror mystery thriller that's got a grieving widow who's kind of an absent-minded father, if you ask me. It's got a creepy stalker type dude who teaches our protagonist how to communicate with his dead wife through pretty lo-fi ways. It's got obsession, hence the absent-minded father comment. It's also got some, I would say, semi-flirty vibes between our grieving protagonist and his partner in crime. And oh yeah, it's got a reveal of the major villains at the end that really left me scratching my head. More on that later. This one is pure early 2000s nostalgia, and we cannot wait to get into it all. I'm Ashley, and joining me today, as always, is my twin sister, Allie. Allie, how's it going? You ready to go back to like 2005? Y2K plus 5?
I'm ready to go back. They don't do them like they did in the early 2000s, and so I'm very excited about this horror movie.
It's so true. I have to say it was kind of a delight to go back to that time. Anytime you watch any of these movies, it's just like good movie making.
It's kind of hard to believe it was 20 years ago, but it was, and it was a different stage that we're at technology-wise, but it was still lovely.
And 21 years ago, Al, it's 2026.
Oh my God.
In the present moment.
Years ago. That's right. Man.
As always, you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Our handle is at Sips and Screams Pod. Please like, rate, and subscribe. You can also email us at sipsandscreams.podcast@gmail.com, and we are absolutely everywhere where you get your podcasts.
All right, so it's a Friday night. Finally, we're doing one at nighttime. So excited. And what time is it, Al?
It's killer cocktail time on a Friday night.
Sure is. What do you want to drink? What do you got?
Like, we had a few options. Well, we had like one option really, but I was trying to be a little creative with it.
So creative. You're so creative.
Well, no, because of White Noise, we're like, oh, we love white wines. So we were like, oh, we could just do like New Zealand Sauv Blanc like we always like to do. But
real lazy.
In rewatching the movie, we noticed that John liked his red wine whilst waiting for his wife to come home. So we went red wine tonight. We did.
I would like to think that it helped him numb the pain of the despair that was about to come. You know what I mean? We'll get into it, but it might have helped.
It wasn't as bad when he heard or
realized what happened. It dulled the pain like a little bit.
Yeah.
What are you drinking? What's your red wine?
Mine is a red blend. I believe it's Syrah and Zinfandel. From Doppel Winery in Temecula, which is one of my favorites.
Lovely. Mine's a Cabernet Sauvignon. I believe it's Italian. And I actually forget what the name is, but it's delicious.
You don't even know where it's from, like the bottle.
It was a housewarming gift. I'm like, okay, tonight's the night.
That's a nice gift.
Yeah, I uncorked it. All right, cheers.
All right, well, cheers.
Okay, it's time for Sips and Synopsis. Allie, why don't you take it away and tell us about the plot of White Noise?
White Noise 2005, not to be...
Right.
Not to be confused with what there was one from like a few years ago, 2022 or something.
There was one from like 2022 and it's based on like a 1980s book and Adam Driver's in it.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
If you're listening to this thinking that it's that one, it's not
wrong. It's the 2005 one with Michael Keaton. All right,
Michael Keaton. It's like a horror movie. It's great. If you do think it's the Adam Driver one, you might be disappointed, or you might learn something.
Or you might be delighted. I don't know.
You might be delighted. Go watch 2005's White Noise and come back. Pause it and come back and listen to the rest of this episode.
So this one stars Michael Keaton, as Ash mentioned earlier, and it starts out with the Thomas Edison line. Like, kind of love it. Has the White Noise stuff at the very beginning. I think it's definitely setting the tone for what's to come. It's really, you know what? It's really that early 2000s horror vibe. Not just horror, though, like mystery. It's kind of giving like Stephen King, John Grisham, all of that in the first, I'd say, 5 minutes of the movie.
It's, the way it's filmed, it's just so good. They like set up the scenario. And it's always this beautiful home, right? I mean, I guess
it is a gorgeous home. Yeah, we've got John, Michael Keaton's character, his son, Mikey, little kid, and then his wife, Anna.
It's like window dressing.
And it is, like, to be fair, like kind of confusing in that very first scene, right? They're like getting ready, like the kid getting, stuff ready in the kitchen, like getting the kid ready. Anna's getting ready to go up and, and do her day. But I gotta admit, I was a little confused because I didn't remember this on rewatch. Michael Keaton's character, John's wife, is not the mother to Mickey. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
the biological mother. I was so confused as well.
I was very confused.
It makes
Julie,
sense
I think, is
later, but the kid
yeah.
wasn't that upset by something that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the radio's already starting to act weird. They've got like an old school like radio on the counter. It's like you kind of are starting to hear that static. So like things are starting to like be a little weird from the very beginning. But yeah, John and Anna clearly very in love.
Yeah. They're like getting frisky a little bit in the morning. Like
getting frisky in the morning. But she admits to him actually that she thinks she's pregnant, right? There was a positive pregnancy test.
It took him so when she shows him like the
pregnancy test.
The pregnancy test, it takes him like a minute. It took him a little long to like react to that. Like she went in the bathroom and showed like, what do you
about
think
it? He was like overly excited about that being a positive pregnancy test.
He was, yes, he was. But again, after like a delay, it's like, what's that? What do you think it is?
Have you never seen a pregnancy test before? Anna, pregnant. John, happy. They're excited about this, but she has to go off on her day and she's going to drop Mikey off. Right? Yeah, she takes Mikey with her. She's going to drop Mikey off at school. It is unclear, but he's in the car with her. Listen, Mikey, the kid, is in the car with Anna as she pulls away from the house.
She's a famous author, right? We don't know what she writes.
She's a famous author.
He's an architect. He also goes into the office, but he can't take the kid to school or something.
I guess not. You know what? No, he can't.
Where's she going?
I think, isn't she dropping the kid off at like the mom's house? I don't know. It's unclear. But she goes off on her way, says goodbye to John. They're very happy. John goes into work. He like gets his assistant or whatever to order flowers and initially says wine or champagne. And I say, no, not champagne, like chocolate. Right. Because pregnant woman.
I have red wine at home.
No,
it'd be nice to have like an assistant like that to be like, do your bidding. You know what I mean?
No, it's because she's pregnant, Ash. And so she can't have
I know,
champagne.
but like he could have partook.
That's true. You're right. But like what? He's like, I got him some champagne, but like he can only drink it. She could have had a sip. Like, come on.
You know what? I have to just like interject.
It was 2005, so maybe not. I don't know.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I have to interject on one thing. We had this like celebration at work a few weeks ago, and they did like a toast thing, and they were handing out like what looked like sparkling wine. I'm like, really at work? And then you're like, oh no, it's just like sparkling grapefruit. Or not grapefruit, like sparkling grape juice or apple. And it was pretty good.
Really? Was it like
it was like
that? I'd hate that sparkling apple juice. It's so disgusting.
It was grape juice though. It was different. The grape is decent.
But would you rather just have water at that point? Like you enjoyed like a sparkling
No, I enjoyed the sparkling grape. I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
anyway.
I don't, if I'm going to have something sparkling like that, like give me like a Perrier or something. But like, come on, if you're toasting it, like it should be like champagne or sparkling wine. Come on.
It's just like the color. It's like kind of fun. But yeah, I digress.
But yeah, so John's excited. He's got his chocolates, his flowers, arrives home early. Anna's not there. There's a voicemail, right? And Anna's, so at that point, she's actually with the mom. She's at Julie's and she's staying there late, I think, because Mikey was having some issues.
It's like, okay, like the night's going late. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start my bottle of wine.
I'm going to open a bottle of red wine, like cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Mm-hmm. And he's going to drink most of that bottle.
I'm going to drink most of it, but I am waiting for my wife to come home. But yeah, so he's having some wine, listening to the radio, play some music on the radio.
Yeah.
Of course, the radio is kind of its own character in this movie. It's getting later. She wakes up. She's not home yet. He calls Julie, gets voicemail again. Is very concerned that she's not home. And then like just passes out after a few glasses of wine on the kitchen counter.
Yeah, like just like head in his arms, like passed out.
Just passed out, lights on. 2:30 a.m. The clock in the kitchen stops. Yeah, he goes to fix the clock. Right, because it stopped. So I guess that woke him up, like just the tick, tick, tick not happening anymore.
I don't know. I thought that was weird. Yeah.
And then he goes to fix it, and then all of a sudden the radio just starts like blaring like the white noise. Right, it like starts going like on its own. Yeah, it's a great scene. So now it cuts, I believe, to like the next morning, and Anna's missing. So Anna never did come home, but they found her car and a shoe, I guess, like by a river. And it's just this kind of montage of cops and them looking for her and him doing interviews. So basically, weeks are going by. Anna's car was found. Her shoe was found. Her body she was not found.
So I found him like he's going to work and stuff, like going about his day. Like he doesn't seem, maybe he's more like a zombie,
I don't think
kind
he
of going
thinks
through
that
life.
she's not going to
He has
come
hope.
back. Yeah, he even says that, right? He's like optimistic and hopeful.
But still, like, how are you like going about your daily life?
You should just
It's,
like be
crazy.
in bed. I don't know. He's got the kid.
I just thought he'd be more like distraught.
Yeah. Well, at that point, I think he's still holding out hope that she's going to come back to him.
Anyway, it's time for Raymond.
It is.
Raymond
so
time.
one morning, John's leaving for work. He sees like a car parked outside of his house with a dude sitting in it. And he's like, he clocks it. Like, that's interesting. He goes into work and then he looks outside again while he's at work. And the same dude that was in the car is now sitting in a park bench. And so, he goes out and confronts this dude. And we learn that he's Raymond Price. Great character.
Yeah, he is.
And Raymond Price actually tells John at this point that he's been receiving messages from Anna, his wife, from the other side.
The audacity, this dude.
I know. He just like goes, I know. And he just shows up at his work. He says he tells them he's received messages from Anna from the other side and that Anna is dead and he has proof.
Dear God.
Yeah. And he sort of shares that like this happened to him like back in the day when his son was 12 and he died and someone came to him and told him that his son was communicating. So yeah, I mean, John at that point is sort of dismissing it, right? He's like, what the hell? He's still holding out hope that Anna is still alive. And so, this dude's telling you that she's dead and obviously doesn't take that well.
No. I mean, you also don't know this guy. Like, who are you? And like, you could be someone that just read it in the news.
But yeah, I completely agree.
I didn't trust him from the jump.
You didn't. Well, I'm excited to dig into your take on Raymond Price then.
I have things to say about Raymond Price.
Okay. Oh, I'm very excited to get into that because, my take on Raymond Price might be a little different.
I don't know about this guy.
But, John goes home, 2-3 a.m. that night, knock on the door, wakes him up. He's like dead asleep in bed, knock on the door, goes down, it's cops. They found
you know what happens.
Yeah, you obviously know what happens when there's cops at the door and then they take off their hats as they walk into your house. So yeah, they found the body of Anna in the water. And they, have the funeral and burial and everything. And then it just cuts to 6 months later. So 6 months later. Yeah. John is moving now. So I guess he moves out of that like idyllic house into, I think, like a condo or some sort of loft in the city.
The weirdest. He has this beautiful home. It's like huge. Like he's an architect. He's not like a chump. You know what I mean? Like he's doing well for himself, I think.
I feel like she probably did better than him though, Ash. Like being like
he would have gotten her money. Like she was a successful, like internationally known art writer. Yeah. They had this like beautiful house on the lake with like a boat. Did you clock the boat?
I did not clock the boat. I didn't know.
Oh, they had a boat and a dock. It was beautiful. And he moves into this like, it looks like a very bro-y, like Toronto, like Liberty Village apartment. Like with the galley.
It's like Vancouver.
It was filmed in Vancouver, but they're all like facing each other. I'm like, what kind? Like, why would you move here? And the
it's clearly not a place for like it's not a family place. It's not a place for kids. He even like asked his ex-wife, Julie, right, to take the kid for a while. And she's like, anything like for your life.
No, but she says to him, she's like, oh, I like this place. It suits you. Like, is he like a big bachelor now? Like, it's such a weird.
I don't know if it suits Ash. It's just like, it's not that bad. You're really paying.
I thought it was a weird.
Ash is like paying this out to be like way worse than this. It looked kind of nice.
I thought he had the kid. Like, and they had like a life.
He didn't want to be like out on his own, like in the suburbs. He wanted to be in the city where the action is. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay, maybe. I think it was a real downgrade. That's all I'm saying. It's a real downgrade for him.
I don't know. I think he's in the middle of the action.
Apartments. He's like in the galley. It's like, and there's no curtains anywhere.
There are no curtains. But I mean, I think that was a stylistic choice.
Staring into his apartment. I'm like, how is that?
Okay, but can we move on?
It doesn't even look like a nice, like downtown. Al, it looks like an industrial area. like not a safe area. I'm telling you, like this was really weird.
It's not as bad as you're making it sound, but in any case, all right, John, the architect, is showing one of his buildings, I guess, to the investor or something. They are in an elevator, and they're in this elevator, and all of a sudden, the elevator stops working, the lights go out, and John's cell phone rings. And when he picks it up, it says Anna's cell, his dead wife's cell. So, like, obviously he's confused by that. Like, wouldn't you be? Like, they had returned her cell phone. The cops returned his cell phone when they found it, like, in her car or whatever, and he had it at home. But obviously seeing that she was calling him or her cell phone was calling him would be very, very creepy.
Hello, Mothman.
Yeah, I know. So Anna calls him on the phone. He obviously doesn't answer it. He's confused. He's also stuck in this elevator with like someone else, with the investor dude, right? But then I guess, the lights go back on, it gets fixed, and the construction worker opens it.
Yep. He'll become important later. If we see him once.
So, a very minor character opens the elevator door and asks them if they're okay, right? And they're like, yep, we're good.
And you're supposed to remember this character. That's all I'm going to say.
Apparently you're supposed to clock it. You're supposed to clock that this construction character with the mustache saves them from the elevator situation. So John, when he gets home, immediately goes to check Anna's cell phone, right? Because he's been storing it in his desk. And he sees that it's turned off, that there's been no calls from it. He's holding that Anna's dead cell phone and his cell phone, it even rings again, right? And it says like Anna's cell. And so he actually picks it up at that point. He picks up a cell phone at that point and hears just like static or, white noise.
White noise.
Yeah. 2:30 a.m. again. So 2:30 a.m. is a very prominent time in this movie. As you'll, as you're watching it, there's a lot of things that happen at 2:30 a.m. So he wakes up, he hears Anna's voice, and he goes downstairs. There's a voicemail on his phone. He plays it. He hears Anna's voice again say Jonathan, but then it immediately gets deleted. So he's starting to realize that, I don't know, maybe Raymond Price wasn't so crazy after all.
That crazy dude is right about something.
Yeah, maybe he is right. So he goes and pays Raymond Price a visit. And
is Raymond Price a hoarder?
Well, he gets to Raymond Price's house. There's also a woman there named Sarah who Raymond has been helping. And so he gets in there and there's just like a lot of TVs, like equipment set up. Raymond's been investigating electronic voice phenomena, EVP.
Yeah.
And so he clearly tells John, right, that he's not a medium, that the dead actually contact him via this EVP. And he can hear them, he can see them, and most importantly, he can actually record them. And he's recorded a lot of EVP in his day, years and years and years of it.
And he documents it all.
Yeah. I mean,
he's a
good, he does have a ledger. He's a good record keeper.
It's like a library of EVP.
I'll give him that. But he actually has.
He doesn't have a job, right? We don't know what he does. I
don't know what he does. I think that's his job. Actually, I mean, I'm sure the people that visit him are paying him, right?
They never show the financial
job, but I mean, come on.
Interaction.
All right, so Raymond is clearly he admits this, right? He's obsessed with the CVP stuff, and he actually has a recording that he plays for John, and it's Anna saying John's name, and John clearly gets very emotional about that. Yeah, and so John talks to Sarah, the woman that was there before. We learn that she has a bookstore, and she shares with John that her fiance had died, and Raymond was able to get recordings, right, that were saying Sarah, yes. And so basically these recordings that Raymond had that he played for Sarah gave her closure.
Yeah.
Right. That he was good in the afterlife, effectively.
Yes, Sarah, it's what we talked about. It's good.
Exactly. So she was putting two and two together. So I guess that was all it took. And now John's going to kind of obsess with the EVP stuff too now. Right, because he's at home. He's trying to
record
radio
0 to 180 real quick.
He starts off just trying to record radio static, via the antenna. He records it all night. He listens back. He starts to kind of hear things. Mm-hmm. But he's clearly becoming obsessed with the white noise via TV, via the radio, and he's recording his own tapes, a la Raymond Price.
Yeah. And going to work and listening to them back.
Oh, yeah. He listens to them in the car, and that's actually in the car is when he hears something. He actually hears a voice on the tape where he almost gets into a car accident. It's kind of starting to take over John's life as well. All right, so John goes back to Raymond's, right? He's a believer now, effectively. And Raymond's telling him, right, it's like Anna knows that John visited Raymond and Anna's speaking to him. And as they're watching some of these things, though, some of this white noise, you see flashes of some creepy things in the background. It looks almost like there's these three figures. And this is sort of one of the first times you're seeing that. So it's almost seeming that it's not all good, right? And so, and there's weird sounds coming from it. And Raymond, once John makes contact with Anna, Raymond's very excited. He goes and gets some champagne. But he even acknowledges, I
He's
know.
always leaving him alone, though. He's like, oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
He's
he
always
goes to get some champagne and brings it back. But he's excited for him, John's made contact with his dead wife.
He has some chilled champagne in his kitchen and he gets for him.
Who
I'm
doesn't?
like, okay.
I mean, I kind of love Raymond for that.
Is that included in like the all-inclusive package that they pay for? So you get a glass of champagne with it if we make contact with your wife.
Exactly. Cheers.
A glass of bubbly.
We could have went with bubbly tonight, Ash. I think maybe that was a lost opportunity. But Raymond does make an important point here. And he's acknowledging at this point because John heard some other creepy things on that tape, right? That they weren't all Anna. And he even tells them that, there's also some bad people out there and they can't all be nice. They can't all be nice like Anna. So Raymond clearly has heard some things and seen some things as well.
And he's documented all of this.
Yeah, he did. Lots of tapes. But so is John. John is starting to constantly record now, constantly listening. It's a lot going on too on his end. He's becoming obsessed with it. And now Raymond calls him and wants John to come over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Again, this happens kind of in the middle of the movie. You kind of forget that. But John goes over to Raymond's. And it's really dark in Raymond's house. The door is open. Everything's in disarray in there. And he sees the kind of the figures on the TV screen. And he sees Raymond just on the floor with a lot of equipment on top of him, just dead on the floor. Raymond is just dead on the floor with his own equipment on top of him.
The white noise killed Raymond, guys. There's a TV
one way
on top of him.
Yeah, like is it one TV? It's multiple.
The white noise playing.
At that
it's
point.
Like, shh, but he's he's underneath it. I laughed out loud rewatching it.
Yeah,
I couldn't even. I'm like, oh my God, what a scene.
So Raymond's in the first quarter of this movie?
Yeah. He's dead.
Maybe his first half of this movie. He dies pretty quickly. It seems like he dies shortly after they make contact with Anna and these other things. And, John sees it, calls the cops or whatever. And then he goes to see the
affected by it.
He's really not. Well, he didn't know Raymond that well, but no, he's not affected by it at all.
He hung out with him like for hours, twice.
You don't know if it was hours, Ash.
Well, it seemed like it. Okay, so we jump to
the
second funeral of this movie. There are many. Yeah. There are so many funerals in this movie.
You have a few. Yeah, there are.
Like have a drink every time, and they show the whole funeral. It's hilarious.
They do. Right. So Raymond's dead. But John does go see Sarah, the woman that he met that day. Yeah. Cheers to Raymond's demise. I guess.
Cheers.
Get to that. John goes to see Sarah, who owns a bookstore, realizes that Raymond's been doing, recording for some time and has his little ledger. And he's seen all these notes, right? And it's not all positive things. Like there's a lot of negative notes in there too.
Pig
things that say like rot, pig, and all this. So like
rotten pig.
A lot of that. So again, he's contacting. It's not all positive. Some of it's very negative. But yeah, clearly, John's becoming more and more obsessed. The kid comes back. His kid, Mikey, comes back for a little bit. Again, things aren't going great.
That poor kid, I feel like, talk about absent-minded father. He's like, John's in the back.
Kind of okay with it. Like the kid's just dealing with it. But effectively, John is sort of picking up where Raymond left off, right? He's kind of continuing on.
And he took the kitchen table, he put his computer on it, and the kid's like, can we eat in here now? Where are we going to eat?
And he's like, we're going to eat in our laps.
So one thing I did notice, it was really funny when John's listening in the back, dude does not use headphones. He's just listening to the white noise, just open air.
Yeah.
The speakers.
He's raw dogging that
He's raw dogging the white noise. Yes. No headphones.
No.
Can you really hear that much? You know what I mean? Like that acutely?
I don't know. I mean, I could hear it when I was watching on TV. So yeah, I'm hearing it. But clearly, John's becoming more and more obsessed. Time's going by. It seems almost like he can't contact Anna anymore, right? Yeah. There's some time there.
There's real overacting there from...
there is. And they have this montage of him being frustrated. It's so great. Again, it's it just shows him being frustrated.
They knew. And they knew.
And they did nothing. Ash likes to bring up Spotlight whenever she can about Mark Ruffalo and his
when I saw that movie... guys,
have you told the story yet on the podcast? Because
what, the Mark Ruffalo thing?
Yeah,
how much I hate Spotlight. Well, okay,
Ash.
and
Okay,
it won like
listeners,
Best
Ash
Picture.
hates Spotlight. All right,
I hate it. The reason I hate it is that I don't feel like any of the things are like earned. I might have told this story before. I compare it to like Sleepers. Remember Sleepers?
Yeah,
like the 90s.
I remember Sleepers. Great movie.
Like they really built up. Like you hated those stars. So they like showed stuff and like you're like, oh my god, I hate them. And like
Having
like
them, like you never
them,
looked at him the same again. Again, great actor. You know.
Yeah, but Kevin Bacon. Yeah. But in this movie, it's like they just say stuff happened, but I don't really feel like they earned some of the. They were so angry, and I didn't feel like it was earned. And then Mark Ruffalo out of nowhere is just like, and they knew, and it could have been you.
I didn't. You're like, I didn't have the same reaction you did. Cut? Maybe scenes were cut. I need to watch it again. I think I've only seen Spotlight. It's not a horror movie, anyone. It is a drama about priests molesting children. I mean, yeah,
it is, and like that's horrible, obviously. But like you have to make us feel angry because otherwise there's like something happened, but you don't like see anything. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you, Ash. I completely agree. But back to white noise. So,
sorry, I digress.
So John, it seems like he's, we saw the montage. John's getting frustrated. He can't seem to contact Anna anymore. So he's resorting to a psychic at this point.
Yeah.
Pretty good psychic.
A blind psychic.
Oh, she's blind. Yeah.
She's blind.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I caught that. No, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, she's blind.
So a blind psychic.
I'm pretty sure she's blind. I was wrong, listeners.
About the necklace. So wrong.
I was wrong about the necklace and obsession that he did not buy the necklace.
You were like, he absolutely... And I succumbed to it.
Because in my mind, I remember him buying it, but apparently, and I watched that movie twice.
Well, thank you to the listener who wrote in on Instagram, because I was very happy to hear that.
I know, you were totally vindicated. People were like, he did not buy it. So I was like, Google it. I'm like, okay, calm down. Okay, he didn't. Okay, he didn't.
I didn't want to Google it. We wanted to discuss it, but my memory, and to be fair, I had just watched it right before we did the podcast too, and you convinced me that like, he did. I'm like, did he? Did I really miss that?
I think it's weird that he bought her the one with Willow, but whatever.
Because it shows that he's selfish and he didn't buy her the necklace.
Maybe she would have wished. Maybe she would have wished for Bear to love her, because she said, like, I really want to experience love. Could have been the other way around.
I think it was to show that he's actually very selfish. And in the end, he went to get something for her. And in the end, he got the one wish below for himself. I think that's what it was. But in any case.
Okay, get back to white noise. Okay.
All right. John, seeing the blind psychic, who tells him that they're showing her things, that there's like some... Basically, it's hard for her to hear Anna because there's like effectively white noise there. But she keeps seeing Willow Avenue.
Little pieces of white light.
Yes.
I love that.
It's so good.
Like, or white noise.
And then she starts kind of freaking out because she's like, you shouldn't be like doing this yourself. Like, it's not safe. There are ones out there who want damage. And so she's effectively telling him that like he's meddling and be careful. She's saying that these voices are urging her to tell him to stop. And they just keep showing her Willow Avenue. But that means nothing, John. He's like, I don't know Willow Avenue,
Speaking of One Wish Willow, we tied it in, guys. We tied it in.
We did. We really did. We did. Yeah. Stay with us. We get there eventually. But she, as he's leaving, which I think adds to her legitimacy, right? As a psychic, she tells John, she's like, she was pregnant and no one else knew that, right? I mean, she hadn't even gone to the doctor yet, Anna. Yeah. So, I think that proves that psychic actually was authentic.
Anytime though, like how many times in movies, this is such a cliche, when anyone says like they're pregnant, they're going to die. Someone's going to bring it up. It's always like used as a plot device.
100%.
Like, but she was pregnant. Like that's like constant. That's used so many times.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So John's kind of continuing on in his journey of just exploring the white noise, kind of becoming Raymond Price. He even like sees like a woman in the white noise, and this woman, Susie Tomlinson, and the white noise tells him Susie Tomlinson's smile, and he finds a Susie Tomlinson person and he shares with her, right, what he heard. And effectively she's all happy about that because it's proving that her mom like found her grandma. So he's basically doing what Raymond Price was doing. He's kind of continuing, I guess, his legacy, if you will.
Yeah.
But we learned something really interesting, right? With that first person that he visited, this Susie Tomlinson. John tells her that he's been receiving messages from her for a week. But Susie says that, she just died. Something weird's going on. It seems like it's not just the dead people contacting him, but these might even be premonitions. Yeah.
The people that are about to die?
Perhaps. Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. John's continuing. He's just watching his white noise. And he hears Anna again. So Anna's now telling him, communicating with him, saying, John, my love. And he goes to, there's this great moment. I'll talk about it later too, but it is a moment I want to talk about. It's like the white noise. He's hearing Anna's voice. It's saying, John, my love. He's obviously connected to it. He goes in to kind of caress the screen, I guess, with his face, maybe kiss the face of her on that white noise screen. And then all of a sudden, there's just like a woman that comes up just screaming at the screen. Shocking. It's incredibly shocking. John is obviously recording all of this, so he replays it. And what he hears is, John, go. Go now. Willow Avenue.
Yes.
Yeah. So Anna's telling John to go to Willow Avenue. So he drives out there. It seems like it's the middle of nowhere. It's the dead of night. There's a power line that fell. Power lines down. There's some electricity happening, like a downed free wire. So it looks pretty dangerous actually. And there's a turned over car.
He just drove down Willow Ave,
He's found Willow Avenue. I mean, I guess he must have known there was a Willow Avenue in his town. He found
one street. It's like Main Street in Willow.
I guess.
Main and Willow.
I mean, it looks like a pretty rural area too. But there was a car there. There's a woman in it, a woman and a baby. And she's screaming at him. It looks very, reminiscent of what he saw on the television screen, right? And she's, screaming at him to save the baby in the back. And, he manages to save the baby right before the power line comes down or the actual
power
tree
line comes down.
And it kills the woman.
Yeah.
But the baby's safe. So, basically John's becoming a superhero at this point.
Yeah, he's
just taking a turn, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the real life Batman.
It is. But so now it cuts to the funeral of this woman who they did not know, mind you. He saved the baby. He did not know the baby.
Sarah's
and John
there too.
takes Sarah. I was just going to say that. So I guess John takes a date to the funeral. Sarah goes with him. It's not like Sarah knew who the baby was.
This is funeral number 3. Okay.
Funeral number 3.
Funeral number 3.
So wait, what's the count right now? So we had Anna's funeral.
3. Anna, Raymond, and now the woman.
Now we have the woman with the baby, with the dead baby. Okay. 3 funerals so far, everybody.
Are there more? There might be.
Yeah, there might be. And so, funeral of the woman, he goes up to the husband and he actually mentions that his wife reached out to him, right? That the husband's wife reached out to John asking for help. And, that husband is not too happy to hear this. He's quite upset.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
He's accosting this guy at the funeral, be like, hey, I just want to let you know, she reached out to me. She's dead. Yeah. He's holding the baby. Although I thought the interaction was weird because he should be obviously more thankful that John saved the baby.
I know. No, agreed.
It's a weird interaction.
He's very upset, sort of unreasonably so. But, I think what John's realizing now is that some of the things that Anna was showing him are actually happening in the city, things that haven't even happened yet, right? So these are almost like premonitions or things that haven't happened yet. It's not just dead people reaching out from beyond. Yeah. So he's starting to realize that. And it seems like Anna's trying to help him. Sarah's quite skeptical about this, actually, and that makes sense. Okay, but we learned at this funeral, right, that this woman's husband says to John that his wife may have been into that stuff, but he's not, right? So clearly, that kind of gets some balls rolling. Why would he say that? So we learned that, effectively there were other people seeing Raymond. And he kind of puts 2 and 2 together that some of the people that saw Raymond were actually some of the people that eventually ended up dead.
And he saw on the tape.
Yeah, and he saw on the tape. And so he opens up these old files and he's hearing kind of the same voices that Raymond did, these angry voices. And again, realizing that those people that saw him actually ended up dead. And so now he's sort of turning all of his attention to this missing woman called Mary Freeman. So this has been showing on the TV throughout the movie. It kind of just popped in here at the end. But yeah, there's this missing woman, Mary Freeman. And it turns out she visited Raymond too. She's in the ledger, if you will.
She's there. Yeah.
So they start looking in to see if they can find Mary in any of the tapes, John and Sarah. And he actually does find the tape with Mary Freeman. So he opens up the tape, the Mary Freeman tape, right? They're watching it. Anna's in there, like as she often is on these white noise tapes, telling John to go now. Go now is a phrase she uses a lot. And in this tape,
go now.
As Sarah and John are watching it, we see Sarah's face in the white noise.
Yeah.
And they recognize it. And I mean, can you imagine seeing your own face in the white noise? And what we've sort of put together at this point, right, is that if your face shows up in the white noise tapes, like you're going to reach your demise pretty soon. Yeah. Yeah. That's
in
a
the tape, like, she's like, I'm cold. No, she's like, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts, or I'm cold or something.
Hurts. I think it hurts. And that's what she says later on in the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, Sarah doesn't want to be alone. John takes her home, gives her some sleeping pills, and he promises to stay with her.
Yeah, a promise he breaks real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sit there for more than 5 minutes.
So he's sleeping. Well, he's sleeping in the room as she falls asleep, right? He stays, he wakes up, he has to go to the bathroom. I guess he goes and takes his own pills in the bathroom. And while he's doing that,
because you can't take pills, you're looking at yourself in the mirror, right?
Yeah, but listen, he did. Okay, but as he left the room, he did put a thing in front of the door so that it wouldn't close. He did put a doorstop in front of it. So you know what? He has some foresight there. But he's taking some pills. You see the figures kind of move beyond him. Door shuts. He runs back in. Sarah's no longer in bed. She is actually outside on the balcony of her apartment. And just effectively falls jumps, yeah, kind of falls backwards. She's sort of looking inward. She falls backward, and she falls and just crashes on the bottom. Yeah, just crashes,
smashes on a glass awning.
Yeah,
many stories below.
But it's not Sarah's demise. She somehow survives that fall.
I have no idea how. It cuts to the hospital, and you're like, you survived that 8-story fall. Is that possible?
I have no idea. But John's there with her, and also the cops are there. They're questioning John. I'm like, rightfully so. He was with her. Woman falls to her presumed death, but she survives it. But that's when she's in the hospital.
You hang out with dies. This is the third.
Everyone you're around, clearly you'd be a suspect at that point. But he's in the room with her, and that's when she says it hurts. So clearly that was a premonition, right, of something to come. So John goes, he goes home, and his apartment, the apartment you hate so much, Ash, is completely trashed, right? There are windows broken. There are all of his TVs and everything. It's all in disarray. It hits 2:30 a.m. In that white noise, John's given another message from Anna saying, go now. And now he's seeing some scenes, right, that he's starting to recognize. He's seen these sort of throughout the whole time, but he's starting to recognize them. And it's sort of looking like the pier area where Anna's car was or where her body was actually found.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he realizes where it is. So now he goes to that pier, to the shipping site. He's recognizing, again, some of the signs. There's a keep out sign. He recognizes that from some of the things he saw in the white noise. And so he goes through this fence, and he's going into this building, and he goes into this building, right, at Pier 16, and he sees a bunch of things set up, TVs, radios, whatever. It's that similar white noise thing that he set up, that Raymond set up.
And the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, call the police. Dear God, why do they always go by themselves?
He does call them at that point, Ash.
No, he does. Literally, I had it written down, call the police. I'm like, he does call the police.
Oh, I know.
He actually calls them. He
does call them. He calls them, and he's get to Pier 16. Crazy stuff is happening. But he gets there again. He also sees a woman screaming, right?
He hears a woman screaming. He sees her.
Fine. I think he sees her too. He knows there's a woman in there, and effectively that's the missing woman. Yeah, that's Mary Freeman, the missing woman that we've been seeing throughout the movie, at least the second half of the movie, the last third of the movie. She's there, kidnapped effectively in this shipping site.
Yeah. We're about to get the biggest plot twist of the century, guys.
Yeah. And a lot happens. And I got to say, I've seen this movie a couple of times now. It's still, I'm going to go through this. It's
baffled.
Let me tell you, the last 5 minutes of this is going to be a lot to unpack. I'm going to try to get through this. John's going through this pier building. He goes into one room and he finds a bunch of surgical stuff on the table.
Yeah.
A bunch of surgical equipment. All right. He's going through surgical equipment now. He finds Mary Freeman.
Is it surgical equipment now?
It's surgical equipment. But again, you're just not expecting it. He does find the kidnapped woman, Mary Freeman. And he finds someone else in this building. he finds this dude with a mustache who I guess we were supposed to recognize from the beginning of the movie as the construction worker that found them in the elevator.
We were, because they gave a flashback. That's why they had to show
the flashback. Like,
was that cut in later?
It's like Scream 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's reminiscent of Scream 7, all right?
Yeah.
But at least they used a famous person in that. Yeah. Like, we're supposed to somehow remember that this random construction worker was working on one of John's buildings. So apparently this guy's just been kidnapping women and killing them, and because he's working with the dark arts and these like figures and things.
Them
like,
to the demons.
It's all supposed to like make sense, but it's very out of place, I gotta say.
You're like, what? And you're like, wait, so he like kidnapped and tortured Anna?
Yeah, he killed Anna because they told him to. Apparently these figures we've been seeing throughout the entire movie are these demons that like have been telling this guy to kill people. So it turns out like he killed Anna. That's why she's dead. And so he's basically a serial killer, kidnapping women and killing them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then it's like there's just like a whole compilation. I can't even
like, what's happening?
Like effectively these spirit demon people just like attack John, and it's a weird like it's not like great CGI.
Swirl of like shadows,
like black shadows
flying around, and then
it's very like Ghost. It's like Ghost from like the 90s. Everyone,
it's like Ghost. I had that written down. Ghost.
Yeah, and they attack John, and then he falls to his own story. He falls a few stories to his own demise.
Okay, the cops finally show up, like right in time. The cops show up right in time and shoot the construction worker.
John's already dead at that point.
No, I know, but you don't know that yet. So they shoot the construction worker dude.
You don't even know his name.
But it doesn't go through him to hit Mary, by the way. They just shoot him and that's it. He's standing right in front of Mary. And then they go over and they look down and you see John's lying there. His foot's like bent the way a foot should have.
He's really
like
reached his demise. Yeah.
He's dead. Yeah.
John's dead. It seems like he reached his demise because he fought off those demons. They killed him.
I guess,
construction worker meets his demise because the cops kill him, and Mary Freeman survives. So you know what?
She's okay.
He did a good deed, I guess. He found Mary Freeman.
She didn't catch a stray bullet either.
She did not. But cheers to John's demise. You know,
cheers to John.
For John. Yeah,
another funeral coming.
So cut to John's funeral.
Outside, very tasteful.
Yeah. Outside, Sarah's there. She's alive, doing well. She's in a wheelchair, but she seems like she's doing okay. John's ex-wife's there with the kid. They leave the funeral. They get in the car. Right. So they get in the car as they're leaving. So we've got the ex-wife, the kid, I guess the ex-wife's new husband. They get in the car and the radio's at 2:30. And it says, we hear something on the radio and it says, "My son, Mikey." And they give each other a knowing smile.
No, he says, "Mikey, I'm sorry."
I said, "My son, Mikey."
No, he says, "Mikey, I'm sorry."
Okay, well, I wrote that down wrong. Okay, he says, "Mikey, I'm sorry." And then Mikey and the mother look at each other and give one another a knowing smile.
A knowing smile. And the kid's in the back like, "It's okay, Dad."
He's like, he's like happy. He's like, "All right, look, you died chasing after."
Like, you're sorry.
Finding a serial killer, but you're sorry. I'm good. And then they all smile, and then it cuts last scene to Sarah, who's in a wheelchair, just alone on the road. And she hears something, like looks to her right, and then it like cuts. Yeah. And so I don't know if they were setting up a sequel there, but it does cut. The last thing we see is Sarah looking to her right. So she clearly hears something. And that's White Noise. We did it, Ash. We did it.
Oh my goodness. What a movie.
A lot to unpack for the last 10 minutes of that movie.
Well, there is a sequel. Did you know that?
No, it's about Sarah.
No,
I've never seen a sequel.
Sarah.
There was not a real sequel.
I have a lot to talk about, but since you mentioned that, I'll start with the sequel. So there's White Noise, White Light, it's called. Or White Noise 2 is,
Is Sarah in it?
No, she's not in it. Let me tell you about the crazy plot of this movie.
Oh my God.
I have to unpack this a little bit. I actually think I did see it in 2007, but like, I like Wikipedia. I'm like, wait, I think I did see this because it kind of was.
Describe it to me. Let me see if I've seen it.
You might have seen it. Okay, so... What? Okay, it wasn't called White Noise, White Light. It was called White Noise, The Light. And it was released in 2007. And it wasn't like a big hit. Because the White Noise 1 was actually like, critics hated it and it was a hit. Like they made a ton of money.
I saw it in the theater.
Yeah. Okay. So this is white noise delight. This guy, Abel, he has his wife and children, and they're murdered by a guy named Henry, and he sees it. And then Henry shoots himself. And Abel is obviously really upset. He's really distraught. So he attempts to unalive himself, but he survives. And then he starts having these premonitions that allow him to save people from death. Right. So he goes on this hero journey.
That sounds familiar.
Okay. But here we go. But then he learns that before Henry killed his family, that guy that shot himself, he had saved their lives first. So he also learns there's this curse thing called Tria Mera, or the third day. So the devil possesses those who cheated death on the third day, right? So he can save you, sure, but then the third day they're going to turn evil. So that's why Henry had killed the family, and then he killed himself. And then it goes on actually the Henry that had shot himself survived, and he goes to meet him, and this whole thing. But yeah, that's what that's about. At least 2 years later. And I feel like
I've seen that, Ash. Yeah, that sounds really familiar, actually.
Yeah,
I don't think I knew it was the white noise.
Yeah, the light. And
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's cool, and it kind of matches a little bit with the first movie. Okay, so we already talked about this movie was filmed White Noise 1 in Vancouver, right? And to me, I'm like, it has Twilight written all over it, right? It's gloomy, the rain,
the dark, And
did you notice there's rain, there's so many water features. The white noise isn't just the TV, it's also the water feature at the apartment building. It's raining the whole time. The whole thing is white noise, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of actually pleasing to listen to. Okay, I want to talk about EVP. I want to talk about the Thomas Edison quote, and I want to read it. I'm going to read this quote. So the movie starts with a quote. It's great. I actually think the opening credits of this movie are fantastic. They're actually really scary.
But it starts with this quote.
Yeah, I know. Okay, it starts with this quote. I want to read it to you all. It's from Thomas Edison, and it says, "Nobody knows whether our personalities pass on to another existence or sphere. But if we can evolve an instrument so delicate as to be manipulated by our personality as it survives in the next life, such an instrument ought to record something." So Thomas Edison, he died in 1931 or in the 30s, but he was a absolute skeptic in terms of the paranormal, right? He thought it was ridiculous and all these things. But a couple of years before his death, he communicated to people that he was building something called the spirit box. And I guess this was something he said would be able to communicate with the paranormal,
the radio
through EVP. Yeah. Yeah. Right. But he died, and then, people thought it was just a joke or something, but he had this, he had these kind of famous quotes, so it kind of brought things together. But EVPs were kind of famously studied, right? People would use these recordings and say they could hear things from people that had passed on, and it made sense to them. And the production team actually used real electronic voice phenomena, EVP recordings, in the movie. They used it, and they kind of
oh, really?
Yeah, they actually kind of sparsely put them in the background to kind of create more of an eerie atmosphere. So if you listen back, those are actually you can kind of hear it. It's a really auditory horror type of movie.
It is. Yeah, I broke it down. Yeah, it really is. And one of the first, I feel like they did such a good job with it.
Did such a good job. But I want to talk about why do we experience some of these hearing voices and things like that when we listen to white noise, right? So there's two actual kind of psychological, cognitive neuroscience phenomenon. And the first is called auditory pareidolia. So our brain's actually hardwired to do two things, to recognize speech and faces in distorted stimuli, right? So, and just think about this. So you can look at things kind of in your everyday life. I look at sockets, electrical sockets, and it kind of looks like a face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you'll look in the clouds, and you can always kind of recognize a face. So there's a part of the brain called the FFA, fusiform facial area, and you're kind of hardwired to recognize faces, and that's why. And this is basically the auditory version of that, right? So your central nervous system, your brain, your spinal cord, that whole system, it kind of filters this information. This just, if you're listening to this white noise, and organizes it in a way that allows you to make sense of it. So you hear kind of these familiar things, and it's these familiar segments, these noises, these melodies, these voices, and it's really just a hallucination. It's not actually happening. So that's the auditory pareidolia. It's really complementary to what we experience when we look at visual stimuli as well. And then the other piece of it is something called apophenia. So it's related to the pareidolia, but what it is, it's more like a cognitive bias. So it's like a top-down thing. So you're hearing these things and your brain's like, what is this? I have to make sense of it, right? You're hearing these voices. So you attach it to something contextual to you that makes sense to you. That's why when you hear these things, it's always related to your everyday life. It's like a song that you heard before, a melody. It's a voice of a loved one, right? So that's your brain making sense of this information that doesn't make sense. Right? But
so it would even give it like the tone of it, like go now, for instance.
Yeah, it could be the tone, like the cadence of a loved one's voice, right? It's always going to be something familiar to you. So, I mean, that's what it is. And it's real because it happens, right? Like you actually do hear these things. And at Sip and Tell, I'll talk about maybe my own personal experience with experiencing something like this, but it's just based on neuroscience, right? This is what happens.
Fascinating, though. Yeah. Did they know that, Ash, when they were making this movie? Like, were they kind of trying to lean into that, or no? This is just sort of what you've discovered since.
I mean, I don't know if they knew that. I mean, I think EVPs people know this, right? But I don't know how like mainstream it was. But they've been publishing on this since the early 1900s. So there's like books published on it too. But no, you're not like communicating with the dead, but your brain is hallucinating these things and
it's hearing things and giving it a voice of like a loved one, like you said, that is passed on. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, it's always during these like distorted images or distorted sounds, right? Because you hear it and it's only in those circumstances where you'll experience these hallucinations, right? Because it's your brain trying to make sense of it. Yeah. So you're like attaching meaning. You're like, you're filling in the gaps basically of this distortion, right? So this is a very common phenomenon, but it's kind of cool. It's not a haunting, but it's very cool.
It's as close as you can get though,
It's true. It's like, this is it. So I talked earlier about, kind of how they had some of these like EVP recordings that they played in the background, but they also did a lot of voice recordings for the actual ghosts or whoever you're supposed to hear, right, in the TV. And those were edited, right? So they would put them in auditory software, editing software, and they would, use like pitch shifting, reverse playback. They would, do all these things to it to make it sound really like kind of like disjointed and non-human, right? And the same thing with like the spatial manipulation. So when John goes to Raymond's house, right when he's sitting there in the living room or whatever that room was with all the TVs, the sounds start like shifting across the room. So he hears them in the front, and then he hears it over here and the left and the back, and like that was to make it seem like the spirit was shifting across the room, right? So that was intentional. And in terms of there was like there weren't really special effects besides those three demons. And at the end, of course, there was like Casper. I don't know what was going on. They did that in editing.
Worst scene in the movie. But
it was super weird. Yeah. But they had like wires and like mechanical rigs and things set up to like break the glass and like do some of these things. So some of that was actual like analog. It wasn't just put in at the end. So let's talk about Michael Keaton. Did you like him in this movie?
I loved him in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. This was his first horror and only, right? He's never been in another horror.
I guess not. Yeah. I loved him in this movie. I really did. But I like pretty much anything he does, but I loved him in it. Yeah.
I love Michael Keaton.
He added a legitimacy to it that I think was needed, especially, how the movie went on.
And because he is supposed to be obsessed, he kind of goes like full like Jack Torrance, right? At the end there.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Okay, but so Michael Keaton's done interviews talking about, there's like a DVD commentary with all this like extra information. And he said that in the DVD commentary, he said that he thought that he had phoned in some of his performances. And he actually apologized to the director, Jeffrey Sachs.
In this movie specifically?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay. Oh, wow.
I mean, I think he's just a good actor, Yeah.
I mean, the montage with him being frustrated, but I thought in general it was very good. He was great.
That wasn't phoned in. I'm like, man, he was like overacting, I thought, in that. Yeah. And then there's he's done like interviews on this, and he actually, I didn't notice this really, but I read an interview and I'm like, oh, that's actually a cool point. Where people have come up to him and said like, oh, like the women in this movie actually are your guides, right? It's all women. So like his wife was helping him. The blind psychic was helping him. She was a woman. Raymond, I don't think, we'll talk about Raymond later, was helping him. And then Sarah was helping him, right? So it's all like the women kind of like guiding him through his journey, which I thought was actually kind of cool. Okay, it is time for Screamometer. Allie, what do you got for this one? 1 to 10. How scary was it?
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
She's really pausing, guys. Like that was like a long pregnant pause.
I have it written down. I know what my score is. I have to say, it had been a long time since I had watched it. I remember the first time I watched it, I saw it in the theater. So the first time I saw this, I saw it in the theater, like opening weekend. I think we saw it together. Yeah. Opening weekend. And I was absolutely terrified. I think even the second time I watched it, like terrified. Rewatching it, I gotta say though, it still got me. It did. And I didn't watch it like it did at night. It still got me. I agree with you that the opening sequence was so scary. And all of those scenes throughout the movie with the white noise were very, very well done. Like it wasn't a lot of special effects. It was very well done. So I kind of gave it even higher than I thought it was going to. Like all these, 21 years later, I gave this one a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
6 out of 10 on the screen meter for me. It didn't like keep me up at night, but during it, like I jumped, like it was kind of hard to watch. You had to sort of remind yourself, right? This movie. So I really did like it on rewatch. 6 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. I agree that I think it's a great movie and it's a fun watch. It is fun.
It's fast too. It moves. Yeah. It moves.
But it definitely holds up. It is scary. There's those like jump scares, like auditory horror. And definitely like if you watch it late at night, you go to bed and you're like thinking about it. I gave it a 5. I wasn't, it was scary. That's the thing. But I'm like, I wasn't like
the
super
jumps,
creeped out by it.
But there were a couple of things that literally like made me jump. Like even like the first few minutes that like for me that elevated it. And like, it's hard for movies to do that to me these days. And this was still big.
I think it was Michael Keaton's performance, like watching it now, because I'm like, he wasn't really that bothered by it. He was like, okay. And like, my God, like I would be so scared if I was him. Right. So maybe that's what it was. Like,
I'm like, oh my God, these women were creepy. Yeah.
Like, oh my God. But it's a great watch. You got to go watch it.
It's so good. If you haven't seen it, well, if you're listening to this, you probably have seen it. But if not, like, go back and enjoy it. It's amazing.
If you watch The Adam Driver 2022, I don't even know what that's about. And you're like that movie, I think you would like this movie.
That's not even good. I don't know. That movie sucks.
Okay, it is time for Sip and Tell, where we discuss our personal experiences related to the content of the movie. Al, what do you got? What's your Sip and Tell?
My Sip and Tell. I got to say, from the very beginning of that movie in the kitchen when they have that radio. I mean, did we all have that in the late 90s? I think we did. I know you and I did. It wasn't great, but we had like a black one. Do you remember this, Ash?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah. And I feel like I remember we watched this movie. You and I were kind of obsessed with it in 2005.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I watched it like multiple times. I remember telling people like it was the scariest movie I'd seen like in some time.
I thought it was so scary. Yeah.
Like since like Mothman. I think like it superseded like Mothman at that time. And so I do remember after the movie, like you and I being at home at some point and then actually trying to use that radio to do the white noise thing. Like you and I sat there, we put it on like random like FM channels and we did try to see if we could hear anything. I remember that like vividly.
Yeah, we did. I mean, and we could have heard something, right? It would be like a hallucination, but
no, now that you explain all that stuff, like it's so fascinating to me because it actually made me think of something else. Like I think like I use a white noise machine to sleep. Yeah. Like I need that to sleep. And maybe you're going to mention this as well, but sometimes I'm listening to that and I swear I hear like music, like an organ play. Mm-hmm. Is this what you were going to say?
Like literally.
Because I swear I hear like an organ playing sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, like
so sometimes I'll be like taking a nap and I'll be like, my husband will be there too, or we'll be like sleeping at night. And I hear like we have the white noise machine on. I will hear almost like an organ playing or like some music, like some music.
Yes.
And I'll be like, do you hear that? And he doesn't hear it. And then I turn the white noise machine off and it's gone.
Yes.
Okay. So same thing for you. That's crazy.
What? So the exact same thing for me, but he would hear something different, right? So this happened to me last year. We were on vacation.
He wouldn't hear anything or something. Current husband wouldn't hear anything.
He's just me. He doesn't make top-down processing. He just needs to make sets of the distortion. He's good. No, so I was on vacation with my CH and our dog last summer, and I brought I always bring my white noise machine. If I don't bring my white noise machine, I bring my phone,
the white noise
app or whatever. And we were we were taking like a nap
on my phone too.
Yeah, a nap in one of the afternoons, and all of a sudden I hear this like do 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 like a very familiar melody. I was like, what is that? I was like, what is that? And then I'm like, and I look over at him. He's sleeping. I'm like, do you hear that? He's like, no. I'm like, what? And it's like, dude, I swear it was like Tiptoe Through the Tulips. Like,
that's not insane.
And then I shut it off and it's gone. I'm like, wait, what? And then I'm like, okay. And then I turn it back on. I try to sleep again and it starts again. So I was like freaking out, but then I like deduced like what it was. But yeah, that happened to me as well. Like it was so distinct, such a distinct melody. So like if you're listening and you have a white noise machine, just like try it. You can like sit there and sometimes I'll also hear like voices, sometimes like people talking. But now that I know what it is, I kind of like tune it out. But yeah, I've definitely experienced that. So we're experiencing that phenomenon.
Crazy. I feel like it only happens when I'm like napping, not when like I sleep at night. But I've woken up and I'm like, I'm like, is it our neighbors? Like, no, it's happened to me too, actually.
And there's so many like case studies you can read about it online. People are like, I kind of like the sound of like, people have said like sound of people at a party. And I kind of like it. Sounds like they're having fun, right? But it's just, it would be something you experienced before, especially with melodies. Like you would have heard that before. Or if like the sound of the people, you would have like, your
brain just like interpreting it. That's so crazy.
But it is real to you, right? It's a hallucination, but it is real. All right, it is time for Sips and Scares, where we discuss the scariest moments of the movie. I think there are quite a few here. What's your number one? I think we can say this at the same time.
Yeah, my number one is when he hears Anna and he goes in to like caress her with his head, and then it's the woman with like,
and he was like
her hand up against the thing. I mean, dear God, the woman screamed help because you weren't expecting that. You weren't. It's like a loving moment between John and his dead wife.
But I was expecting it on the rewatch, and I still jumped. I was like, what? Like just out of my seat.
I wasn't. I didn't quite remember that that's where it happened on the rewatch because it had been a few years, and so I was very shocked, and I did jump. Yes,
but they're so like
the knock
so
on the door
times.
when the cops came at 2:30 a.m. is another one.
Yeah. Oh, that's when the cops come. Yeah, that was sad. I thought there were a few moments in the movie where it's like really quiet and you're like settled, and then it's like the radio comes on. Like they do that very effectively.
Anytime the white noise comes on, honestly, it was very creepy. And I think the first couple times you see the figures, the three figures, because you weren't expecting that, very creepy as well.
Well, the first time at Raymond's house, like, so Raymond's always leaving John alone. It's like, excuse me, I'll be right back. And then whenever John's alone, he experiences these really scary things. But he doesn't see the three figures behind him. He didn't see, like, he's always leaving Raymond. He's like, excuse me for a moment. Like, where are you going? Like, this is an appointment.
Raymond's only in about 3 scenes of this movie, Ash. So,
because he keeps leaving. He keeps leaving. Like, to go get the champagne. Like,
he leaves for good.
The other girl's going to make tea.
I appreciate that he went and got the champagne. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, sure. But the 3 ghosts in the back, when you first see them, that was actually pretty scary. I mean, there's more scary parts.
You weren't expecting it.
To me, it was the auditory horror. Like there were so many moments where it's just like quiet and then you hear the radio or the TV and it's pretty scary. All right, we're moving on to cliches and ripoffs. Oh my goodness, I had a laundry list. I don't know about you. What do we got?
I have a few, but I want you to start, Ash.
Okay. Poltergeist, the TV. Obviously. The TV, the white. What? Why are you looking like that's shocking? What do you mean? When Caroline is talking to the TV, like, Mom, it's like the white noise.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that it was shocking.
The look on her face, she looked shocked. Like you didn't have Poltergeist on your thing.
I usually drink when we say poltergeist. No, sorry, that's pet cemetery.
I think we can drink when you say poltergeist. Okay. Number 2, speaking of TVs, I don't know if you have this one. Scream. First one. Death by TV.
No.
Raymond dies, death by TV.
Oh,
and you know who else dies, death by TV? Stewie.
Yeah.
Death by TV. It's not Stewie. So I don't know who did it better. I think, Scream did it better.
I mean, I think Stu's did better, but we actually saw him like die via TV.
Yeah. Whereas, this is like nice. A nice like homage. What else I have? Ghost. Obviously, we already talked about Ghost.
Yeah, obviously Ghost. We talked about that.
Ghosts. This was very Mothman, especially with the calling on the phone.
I know. So I have Mothman written down as like my number one because there were a lot of similarities. Like, Richard Gere's character and John, like they were very, very similar. With the dead wife too, like was very similar. And they're both the same movie.
Almost the same movie. They're very reserved. And isn't the quote the same? Like, they can't all be nice like Anna. Doesn't someone say that to
I think so.
Richard Gere about his wife?
Yeah. I think so. Like, if you were to compare Mothman versus this, like, which should you prefer? Like, what was scarier for you?
Mothman.
I can't remember Mothman I think was scarier, right?
Yeah. Mothman, for sure. Mothman kept me up at night. Like, that is...
And Mothman was like a better movie, I think.
And based on true events, kind of loosely, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to do it. Skinamarink. the phone ringing in the middle of the night. The one scare at Skinamarink.
You will always bring up Skinamarink. I think we have to drink every time you bring up Skinamarink. And like, listeners, have you even seen it? Like,
you can't rewatch it. Dear God.
Well, but it sticks with you. Yeah, that's a one-time only watch, and I'm not even sure. Like, what day of the week was it? Well, we must have been having some drinks at that point. Like,
we were, but you guys hated me. I suggested, I'm like, let's watch Skinamarink. It's going to be so scary. And they're like, we'll watch it. They watched it with me, and then all of them were up. Like, no, it was really scary.
Yeah. Listen, I watched it. I went to bed that night. I had a hard time sleeping. I kept seeing the visions like when I went to bed.
Oh, and like the parents on the edge of that. Yeah, there's some things that are like unsettling. Undertone. We just did Undertone.
I have Undertone written too.
Okay, we talk about
it's funny because we watched Undertone and like you didn't realize, and then I rewatched this. I'm like, Undertone really kind of borrowed a lot from this movie.
Yeah, it really did. Like especially with like playing the nursery rhymes backwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ring. This is kind of like, is it like opposite reverse ring? Like you watch the tape and you die. And this one, if you see someone on the tape, they're gonna die. Like it's kind of ring adjacent.
No, but you see someone on the tape when they've already visited Raymond. So like, I think that the worst thing you can do is visit Raymond for help. Then you're going to be on the tape. Then John's going to see you. Then you're going to die. Yeah. So I think the first step is seeing Raymond. Don't try to contact the dead, Don't do it.
Okay, I thought it was very like Final Destination as well. And this came out way after Final Destination.
Oh, yeah. Well, the live wire, I mean, very similar to the Final Destination scene.
But even the end, it's like when she turns her head, it's like death's coming for you. Like, she
also kind of looked like Ellie Larder.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, Sarah sort of looks like Ellie Larder, and I wonder if that was on purpose or not.
Yeah, but she wasn't as much. Well, she was kind of like leading him, wasn't she? Yeah.
I
think that might have been on purpose. And then, 1408 at the end when they're in the car and they hear him.
Yeah. That was very similar to the end
version of 1408 ending when they see him in the back of the car.
It was.
Yeah, those are mine. Do you have any?
I had a lot of those, but I have one more. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh. And what?
It'll come to you. No thoughts?
Do I have to think about this? No. Just tell me. I don't know. It's not coming to me like right away.
when John's like supposed to stay up and watch her sleep.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes.
Like he was supposed to stay up and like watch Nancy sleep or like wake her.
Oh, yes.
Johnny Depp's character. Yeah. I mean, I have to think that was 100% Nightmare on Elm Street.
Totally. And and I think absolutely in terms of like cliches, like always like going in the mirror, looking at yourself, like while you're doing something, like taking pills, like washing your face is such a cliche. And just overall the vibes of it. It wasn't like a cliche, but it was like total like early 2000s vibes, which I love. And I don't think we'll ever have that again. But it was vibes, and I just love that era. I love most movies from that era.
I think we will, because like Backrooms, like there's movies that are trying to do it.
That's true.
There's movies that are doing it. It's like that's now.
It's like
becoming cool. Yeah. So I think we will have it again. It's just like fake. But yeah.
And like those old school flip phones. I had that flip phone. It was like a Nokia flip phone. I'm like, had that one. Definitely. All right. It is time for the villain. Who's the villain of this movie? I know who I think it is.
Yeah. I think we all know who you think it is. Let me guess. Can I guess who you think it is?
Yes.
I think you think it's Raymond Price.
Raymond Price. Yes.
Like if you've been listening to the episode, I think you could guess that Ash was going to say Raymond Price, given her disdain for the man.
Price started it all. I'm sorry your son passed, but man, you unleashed like a world of horror on your little town. We don't know where it is. I don't know what the town's supposed to be.
They never say.
No, it's just some nondescript Vancouver place.
Yeah.
Raymond Price. He knew. And he was like stalking people, like John would have gotten over it and been okay. You know what I mean? He's like, your wife's dead. Like, you need to come here. Like, and he wasn't a believer, like tried to make him a believer, and then brought him into this world thinking it would help. And I'm sorry, did he not watch the news? Like, did Raymond Price not have such a busy business that he saw these people dying on the news? He wasn't like, hey, like she came to see me. And you didn't even cover.
He wasn't like putting it together.
Anna came to see him. Right? Wasn't she on the list?
No, Anna was not on the list. Anna never came to see him.
Well, because she was on the list, but everybody else and their mother was on the list. So yeah, he's the villain, 100%. He wasn't even that nice. I just thought he was weird, like bringing the champagne. Like we made contact. He just seemed like he was another person, like bringing. I thought he was like working with the people too, because he was like bringing people in, and he was like the gateway to the other dude. He was bringing people into his home.
To the construction worker guy.
Yeah, I think Raymond was in on it with the other guy. Like he just like turned at some point and was bringing people in, and like he knew there were bad people.
Oh my God, are you serious? I don't think there's any. I don't think they even knew each other.
I think Raymond Price was the villain. No, he's not a good guy.
Any connection between Raymond Price and the construction dude?
He knew there were bad people. He was bringing people in. He was like the first stop, right? And then they would go, and then like, because it was always people that they were connected to, and they would go to the construction worker guy. So yeah, he's the villain. Absolutely. He was also like celebrating with champagne when they made contact with the dead. Like, no, Raymond Price, definitely the villain. Who's your villain?
You know, I have something different, Ash.
Okay.
I don't have the same feelings you do for Raymond Price, the same disdain that you do.
I do.
think he's just trying to give people closure.
No, I didn't shut it to
you know what I forgot to say during cliches? Like, David Dunn. I mean, effectively,
yes,
John was David Dunn. And so I need to say it now because he was basically David Dunn. Unbreakable, right? A lot of similar scenes there. And also Sixth Sense, same thing.
Yeah.
What about, you're going to hate me, Anna. Anna. She could have let him be. She contacted him. How about she just like goes off into the world, like and not like try to contact him, and then all would have been good. Because
I think she was trying to give him
Raymond
purpose,
Price,
meaning.
He had meaning. He had his job. He had his new apartment. He was trying to move on, and she contacted him. She made him a hero, a superhero. Gave him a hero complex. If she was never like John, go blah blah blah, and like contacting him at 2:30 a.m., none of this would have happened.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, Raymond wouldn't even come to him. Yeah, the dead person.
People are responsible for their own. No. Like
I am blaming the dead person that reached out from beyond. Yes, I am, because isn't that the source of all of this? Raymond wouldn't have contacted John to begin with had Anna not reached out to him.
Yeah, but he was already doing this. If it wasn't John, it'd be someone else.
Ash, you always go upstream. He wouldn't have done it.
Anna was sweet.
Anna's the villain. Anna's the villain. No, she put him in harm's way multiple times. Willow Avenue.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. Like maybe she's like, go, yeah, I guess.
Could have moved on with this life.
The whole thing.
She was selfish. I need to add one thing. She wanted him to do more of his life. Like he was doing well as the architect.
I need to say one thing.
Please do.
When she's like, John, go now. When they have like the premonitions, like he was seeing that in the TV. She comes to him at the Pier 16 or whatever at the end, like appearing as an apparition and says like, go now. So that might have been like a premonition. She was only appearing at the end to tell him to go because the guy was coming to kill him or whatever. Or the demons were coming to kill him.
So that was a premonition of that to come. Fine.
Yeah. I think that might have been a premonition. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I disagree. Anna was not a villain. Raymond Price. Stamp it.
Agree to disagree. Listeners, who's the villain in White Noise? Like, let us know.
No, Anna.
I'd love to hear what other people think. Well, I think it might be Anna.
Well, that's going to do it for Sips and Screams episode 35, White Noise. Thank you so much for joining us and listening today. Join us next time as we sip on more themed cocktails and discuss the good, the bad, and the truly terrifying of our favorite horror movies. Cheers.
Cheers.